is Brandon Royval. He is kind enough to join us right now. There he is. Hey, Brandon, how are you?
I'm doing good, and yourself?
I'm doing really well. By the way, we had a big debate before the show. How do you pronounce your last name?
It's Royval.
Royval.
Yeah. I feel like Royval sounds fancy, so when people say it, I'm like, yeah, maybe that should be how it's said. One time I fought for a Mexican promotion or like for combate, and they're like Royval. I was like, damn, I think that's how it's supposed to be said. I don't
Yes.
know though.
But you go with Royval.
Yeah, Royval. Royval is like what I've always
Royval.
known.
So GC, was I right or were you right?
We went over it over the show before the show how he just said it.
Okay.
Royval.
So I was right.
Royval.
All right, cool. Perfect.
Yeah. I don't think it's ever been announced right though. Like as long as I've been in the UFC, they've been kind of messing it up. But like I said, I don't really care necessarily.
All right. Well, you're an easygoing guy, but I like to get these things right. So interesting weekend for you. Could I ask first, what was it like? I'm assuming training and then cutting weight for a fight that you weren't sure was actually going to happen.
Yeah, I like in my head, I just trained like it was gonna happen, and like I put it in my head that it was gonna happen, and like I like for sure thought something was weird gonna happen. So I trained super hard for that fight. I'm taking a week off because I did do like a lot of damage on my body in this training camp, and for me, it was a really interesting position, and I felt like I was gonna be the wild card if something did happen. So it was like these two are both preparing for a fight, of course, but if something did happen, I'm a southpaw, I'm a little unorthodox, and just the way I fight's a little different than both those guys. So it would be both them kind of fight similar. I wouldn't say they fight exactly alike, but similar enough where I could kind of prepare for them both kind of the same, And if they threw me in there, I would have been a little bit of a wild card being a southpaw and lengthy and all above,
Did you find yourself kind of envisioning one guy was pulling out over the other? Like, were you finding yourself preparing more for one guy as opposed to the other?
I had a preference. My preference was Moreno pulled out of the fight. I go fight Pantoja for the belt. In my head, I win that fight, win the belt, and then me and Moreno fight in a rematch. And then, then I'm fighting with that pay-per-view possible money, you know what I'm saying? So I had an idea of how I wanted things to go, but I was down for anything. If anybody fell out, if anything happened, I was just ready to go, And
it's kind of funny. It might play out that way, and we'll get to that in a moment. But how was the weight cut? Because I noticed you had the box around you and whatnot. So how was it?
It was not a fun weight cut. I honestly, I messed up pretty bad as far as like preparation goes for that. Is 2 weeks out, I weighed like 139. And once I hit 139, I'm like, this is going to be the easiest weight cut in my like UFC history. Like it'll be super easy from there. So I started eyeballing stuff. 4th of July hit. I was just kind of eyeballing food. And I think I just let myself like eat too much. I was messing up. And so I had to cut 16 pounds. I could have cut more, but the moment I hit 125, I was like, cool, I'm done cutting weight at this point. It's like once I hit 125 on that scale, I was done cutting weight, and I was like, you know what? I don't need to do anything. I'll go weigh in naked. I don't give a shit. They told me to go weigh with my boxers, and I was telling them, I was like, I'm not going to make weight with my boxers. Like the boxers weigh 0.2, I'm 125 exactly. Like I'm not going to make weight with the boxers. And they're like, well, let's just try it. And if not, we're going to throw that on. So I was trying to weigh in with the box right away, but then they made me go step up and then re-weigh in and all that. But
okay.
I could have cut another pound or two. It just wasn't a fun weight cut. And I definitely made a more of an error than I should have.
Worst weight cut of your career?
No. I've made flyweight in a week and weighing like 147 one time.
Oh my
And that
gosh.
was a horrible. Yeah. And that was for like the LFA belt. So I had to weigh 125 exactly also. And I got carried to like James Krause picked me up in his car, and like we were like walking out of the parking lot like this, James Krause and my other cornerman. And it was a horrible weight cut, and that was the worst one. And I knew I was gonna, like I said, I knew that I didn't have any worries that I wasn't gonna make weight. It was just I knew it wasn't gonna be a fun weight cut.
Right. When do you find out that it's officially off for you, that you're not needed for Saturday night? When do they tell you that?
I stopped and like kind of like started eating a bunch of junk food around 12 o'clock Saturday, like noon Saturday.
Okay.
But nobody ever really officially reached out and was like, you're not needed, So I was walking with one of my friends to the fight, like, 'cause we're right across the street. And I'm like, what if right now they're just saying like, all right, we're ready we need you right now, which would have been cool. Cause it's like a zero thought behind it.
Sure.
I already prepared, the work was done. And I wasn't eating too crazy yet at that time.
So even when you go to bed on Friday, there's still a chance in your mind that you, because we've seen people pull out on the day, you're still thinking in the back of your mind, like you're not going crazy with food and drinking and stuff like that. You're still staying ready.
Yeah, I went to bed early and everything. I was super ready for the fight.
Wow. Is it hard to go through the whole process, train, cut, and not get that release, not get the opportunity to actually compete?
Yeah, and in my head, it was just like, I think I'm doing the groundwork to get this title shot no matter what and achieve my dreams and my goals. So in my head, it was like, no matter what, I'm going to get this title shot because of this. If that's going to happen or not, I have no clue. But in my head, I was doing all the correct steps necessary to get that, and that was just my main goal. My main goal was to kind of get in everybody's ear, to make weight, and to if the fight happened, I was ready. If the fight didn't happen, I just wanted to get in everybody's ear on the way there that I'm ready. I'm the next title challenger. I've done all the groundwork that led up to this, including making weight that day, and I'm ready for the title shot next. I'm the next flyweight champion.
Who do you think won the fight?
I thought Pantoja won it 4-1.
Okay.
And keep in mind, like I wanted Moreno to win the fight because I thought that would be like it'd be more safe for me to get the title shot next. And then I also thought that if Moreno won the fight, I have that's more eyes, more people, all the above. And then keep in mind, the whole entire crowd was going for Moreno. So it's like with all those factors kind of lying in there, me being biased and all of that, I still scored it kind of 4-1. And then I went back and watched it, and I could see 3-2 also. But I scored it for Pantoja.
Okay. I know, there was one judge who had it 49-46 for Moreno. Some people online had it 3-2 for Moreno. I scored it for Pantoja as well. It was a close fight. It was a very fun fight. Were you surprised that Pantoja won? I know he won twice before, but Moreno has come a long way. Did you think that Pantoja was going to win the fight?
When that second round hit, I thought Moreno was going to start taking over. I thought Moreno's cardio was going to prevail, and I thought Pantoja was going to slow down. So I knew Pantoja always has that danger factor of finishing people. He comes out wild, and I guess long story short is, I'm kind of surprised Pantoja won the fight, and but I could see him getting it done. He got it done twice before, and he obviously got it done this time on too.
So I'm a little surprised that you wanted Moreno to win, only because Pantoja gave you your last loss. And I thought, all right, you get a chance to avenge it now, but for the belt. Why was that not your choice?
It's still like that's something I do want. I want that revenge on I want revenge on Moreno too, because that fight's like inconclusive to me.
Yeah.
But that being said, is with Pantoja, it was just like I just thought that it would work out more towards my factor. I feel like that Pantoja did beat me, and he actually did win that fight. It kind of gives me that then now there's argument. Now there's argument of, do I deserve the rematch? Do I deserve that fight? And I think if the Moreno fight happened, there's no argument. Amir Albazi is not even a question because he possibly lost his last fight. Pantoja might be up for a rematch but even then it's just like, who else then? So I was thinking Moreno would just work better off for me for surely securing that title shot. But since Pantoja won, I feel like there's a couple of what ifs in there, and now I'm not exactly sure if I secured the deal and all that's going to go my way.
So that was my next question. On this Wednesday, some 4 or so days after the fight, have you been told that you're next?
No, and I even when I weighed in, I talked to McMahon and I was just telling him, I was like, yo, can I go in the cage after the fight? And they're like, that sounds like a good idea. We'll see what happens. Sometimes when we do that, things go awry, things go crazy. And I was like, okay, cool. So I kind of got in their ear and I'm like, just making sure that I'm next. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, it sounds like a good idea to me. He's like, I'll clear it through everybody. He goes, but that's an in the moment thing that we decide as like promoters to like, in the moment, we'll let you go in the cage, or in the moment, we won't let you go in the cage. So I was just trying to find a way, a will, and all that just to kind of secure that deal if I could, So I still don't know. I don't know what's next for me. I don't know what's next for Pantoja, and I don't really know who the next real title challenger is going to be at this point in time.
Is it true that the whole Izzy thing kind of ruined your chances of going in the cage because that happened right before?
I don't know if it ruined my chances, but I know that they're talking about bringing me into the cage, and I know it was up for discussion, and I know that the moment I saw Izzy step over that platform, I was like, damn, this is not going to go my way. Me and my cornerman looked at each other. I was like, the only thing that could go wrong with me getting in that cage for sure was Duplessis wins, and then Izzy jumps in the cage, and all of a sudden I see Izzy stepping over the guardrail, and I'm like, well, there that goes for sure. And then he went in there, said a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, I don't think this is going to happen at all.
No. Yeah. It's tough to do it back to back, especially after that one.
Yeah, I don't think I was going to top it because I was going to go in there and be like, great job, Alex.
Yeah. It would be the complete opposite. In the post-fight presser, I heard Dana White say something to the effect of like, who wouldn't want to see that fight again, the Moreno fight? Did you hear those comments, and does that make you at all nervous?
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, who would want to see me and Pantoja fight? Like, the fight that originally happened was, one, super competitive, super crazy, super back and forth, and I think leading into the second round, I had all the momentum in the road to win that. I just started to make mistakes and let myself slip away. And I feel like I have all the excuses in the road for that fight. But more importantly, is like I found solutions, and I found the way that that'll never happen again. And I did everything to do to solve that problem along the way. So every fight I've ever been in is fight of the night. I pretty much bonused every single one of my fights. Most of them are fight of the night, not performance of the night. That being said, I don't see Alexandre Pantoja and myself being a boring fight at all. That's going to be a crazy fight. And like I said, same thing with Moreno. I know Moreno's in all these exciting fights, but so am I. I'm one of the most exciting flyweights on the roster, if not the most exciting flyweight on the roster.
Are you worried that they're going to go with Moreno again?
Kind of, but at the same time, it's a 3-0 shutout. And it's like, once again, I scored it 4-1 for Pantoja. And it's like, if you go round by round, Moreno's only won 2 rounds of the whole entire series. It's like, that's hard to argue right now, you know?
Yeah. I saw comments yesterday from Amir Albazi saying like, you fought him. I'm the fresh guy. I haven't fought these guys. Did you see those comments, and what do you make of them?
Did you see the comments under it of everybody just ragging on him for it? Like,
no, I did not see.
The comments under it just talking shit on him. But like I said, good guy. Me and him are both going for the same goal. So it's like, it's easy for me to talk shit on him all day, every day. But that being said, he lost his last fight. No one in the world thinks he won that fight. Like you said, you had that fight going 4-1 for Kai France. 3-2 at best. We can go 3-2 at best. But as far as it goes, it's the biggest ripoff of the year so far. I don't think he's done anything to beat he hasn't beat anyone in the top 10, anyone in the top 5. I guess we could consider Kai France a win, but nobody really does. I don't even know why they ranked him number 3. But that being said, he hasn't done anything. He has done nothing to solidify himself. Me, on the other hand, I fought everybody in the top 10. I fought nothing but top 10 fighters since I've been in the UFC. I fought for the last 4 fights. I fought back fights. I fought guys behind me. It's like, I need to fight someone ahead of me. I need to fight for these contender fights. My last fight against Mateus Nikolai, Dana White's like, this is the contender fight. This is the fight for a title. And he goes, then that's what he said. I go out there and knock the dude out. I didn't get punched one time out there. And it's like, if you want a clear contender, that's exactly what they're going to do. And that's what I'm doing. I'm going out there, I'm finishing people, I'm putting on the most exciting fights, and I'm knocking these dudes out who are supposed to be, untouchable. And it's like, I go out there and knock this stool out, don't get hit, weigh in as a backup, hit 125 exactly like a professional. And I'm here, and I'm over here fighting these top 10, just making statement after statement, time and time again,
Dana White did say when justifying the Colby Covington-Leon Edwards fight that, Colby weighed in, and that kind of punches your ticket, so maybe you could use that to your advantage. Play him that clip. Tell your manager to show him that clip. I thought if you weigh in, you get a title shot.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. And that's what's going through my head as soon as I was like on the backup fighter. I'm like, perfect. All I got to do is not miss weight. And it's like, it was an iffy weight cut, but I didn't miss weight. I weighed in 125 exactly, and I did exactly what I had to do. And like I said, if anyone dropped out of that fight, I was there. I would have made a great fight, and I prepared for it like I was actually going for a title fight. So I went through a full camp, all the above, and it's like I'm doing exactly what I need to do this whole entire time, making statements, making sure that there's a clear winner every time I fight, and finishing people. I'm finishing people,
Yeah. There's also a case to be made of just having like some fresh blood in there for the belt. I like Brandon a lot, and I don't, I'd be very happy if he gets another shot, but just 2 new faces. I do wonder, and I promise, because some people get mad when but I'm not trying to stir the pot, I promise, but I'm just asking the question. I do believe your manager represents both you and Brandon. How does that work? How does that work in terms of fighting? Isn't that
I don't know, man. I'm just hoping he's doing his due diligence on my side, and letting it be known that, you know, I deserve the next shot. And it's like, I get that Brandon Moreno is good for the company. He's a great kid. He does a lot of good things, you know. There's not enough good things people could say about this man. That being said, is he's given every opportunity to go fight and win a belt there's been, you know.
Yeah.
They made an interim title for him. They made an interim title for him against a opponent who I'm not necessarily sure deserved the title shot over Pantoja at that time. But he gets it, wins that, and then he goes and fights for a belt. And it's like, he hasn't defended his belt yet, and he's had every opportunity under the sun. Yeah, let's get some fresh new blood in there. And I'm telling you, I'm not the same fighter I was 2 years ago. 2 years ago when I fought Pantoja, I was 6 months off of, or 7 months off of surgery, off a 6 month layoff. And it's like the years before that, I could not grapple. I could not do jiu-jitsu. My shoulder was dislocating anytime I did anything. So all my fights in the UFC prior to that, I wasn't practicing grappling. I wasn't practicing wrestling. I was just striking and then drilling jiu-jitsu. I wasn't doing anything live. Then I go get my shoulder blown out, like finally where I could get the surgery. I go get the surgery. I take this fight, Pantoja, immediately, which was dumb. It was like one of the like, but I just wanted a title shot and I was guaranteed a title shot if I win this fight. I go against Pantoja, and 1 month of grappling against one of the best grapplers in the division. I put myself in a shitty situation after having like once the second round came out, I came out hot. I was looking amazing, and I felt like the fight was mine to take. And I gave up my back. I lost the fight, and you know, I've been regretting it and that shit ever since. But ever since then, I started training with like real jujitsu, real jiu-jitsu competitors, and I upped my jiu-jitsu game majorly, and I made all the adjustments I can to go fight Pantoja. That man, not only is he a threat and dangerous opponent, but he's made me a lot better as a fighter, and he's changed me, and he's going to be the reason why I beat him. You know, is he's made me so much better. He made me look at the flaws that I had, and he made me go to the drawing board and change the things that I needed to do. So Alexandre Pantoja is going to be the reason why I beat him now.
Mm. You still harp on that fight a lot?
As far as myself, I beat myself up for it every day. Because I remember when that first round ended, I looked at him and I'm like, he's done. Like, he's done. This fight's over. It's mine to win. I could beat this dude. Like, I'm already beating him up. But then the second round comes, I'm touching him up dirty. And it's like, in my head, I was like, all right, I just got to go finish this fight. And then I overcommit with my left hand and then give up my back. And I just watch myself spiral out of control a little bit. So, yeah, I harp on myself on that. But it's like, I've made a lot of mental changes, a lot of different adjustments in my game. I train with like a real life jiu-jitsu team now. And, you know, I've done everything possible to not ever make sure that never happens again in my career, you know.
What do you mean by mental changes?
Mental changes are just like, for me, and even talking to you, like I get super excited and everything goes super fast, and I have a hard time slowing myself down a lot, you know. And now it's like I take my time with things. I try to like talk more deliberately. When I fight, you could see even with that like Mateus Nikolai fight, is I didn't go bum rush this dude, and I didn't go make some crazy like mistakes, and I didn't put myself in situations where I need to get hit, you know. Is in my opinion, when I started going to the UFC, it was just like I put it in my head that I can go bull rush and then take over these fights off just pure will and domination and cardio. And I put myself in a lot of dangerous positions there. You know, I put myself in positions where I was getting hit when I didn't need to get hit. And from there, it was just like, that's not what makes me good. That's not my skill set. And that's not what's going to win me this bout one day. What's going to win me this bout is just picking people apart, making the smart moves. And when it comes time, I know I could be a fighter. I know I could brawl. I know that's all there. I have that in my back pocket at all times, but that's not plan A anymore. That's plan B and C, you know. I have other weapons, utensils, and skill set that can get it done. And when I watched that Brandon Moreno and Pantoja fight, it's like, these dudes are out there just brawling. It was a great fight, and they should be really proud of themselves. They should be really proud of themselves. But from an outside perspective, or from like a flyweight perspective, it's like, that's a bar brawl, you know. Like those are two dudes in a street fight. Like I could see that downtown after the Nuggets just won. You know what I'm saying? I watched that same fight happen 3 different times, just not as good cardio, you know. So it's like when I watch that, I'm like, that's not a skilled fight. And it's like I'm the most skilled fighter in this division. But not only that, is if you guys want an exciting fight in a brawl, I could bring that shit too. Like you want to bring that to my door? I'm not ever turning down a fight like that. So that's just not my plan A anymore.
Mm. By the way, what's up with you and Muhammad Mokaev? What's going on over there?
I don't know. He talks a lot of shit, man. He talks a lot of shit. That kid was in my DMs for like maybe a solid year. He slowed it down a little bit, but
What? DMs? Straight up DMs? Like not just like public?
in my DMs messaging me. I'm over here like, who the hell is this kid?
What's
I
he
almost had
saying?
to sit back, just talking shit. Why are you dodging me, pussy? Yada yada yada. This that. I'm like, I almost got suckered into watching the whole 15-minute Mokaev fight because I'm like, who is this kid? I'm 10 minutes in, like hitting the snooze button. I'm like, what the hell's going on right now? And at the 12-minute mark, I'm like, all right, this fight sucks. Like, I can't watch any more of this kid. But he almost conned me into watching the whole fight of his. This is crazy.
Are you interested in fighting him?
Absolutely. That kid, like I said, I could talk all the shit in the world, and I will for sure. But what is he, like 21 years old, 22 years old? He's going to be good, bro. And it's like, when that time comes, I will fight him for sure. And it's like, I'm not turning him down at all. But it's like, I'm trying to fight for a belt next. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to fight number 13 or 14 or whatever he is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, the fight doesn't necessarily make sense for me. I feel like he's had really close fights with guys that aren't even good. And it's like, he's a young kid, so he's going to get there for sure. But it's like, I also just think in that situation is just like, then there's like, I had a DM from Tai Tatsuro. I'm going to mess up his name, Tai Tatsuro, and then a DM for Muhammad Mokaev. And I should have took a screenshot of it's back to back. And Tai Tatsuro was like, you're amazing. Thank you very much. And then the next message under is Mokaev like, you fucking pussy. And I'm like, what? I was like, these are two very different 22-year-old kids, you know, and one of them's exciting and finishing people and doing all these crazy things. And the other one's Muhammad Mokaev talking shit left and right. And I'm like, this kid's getting clout for it and this kid's not. And it's just kind of crazy to me because, you see like the two different attitudes and two different ends of the spectrum. And, they're both doing what they got to do. And I love it. And I love when people talk shit to me because it's like, that's the environment I grew up in, you know? So I'm all about that. I'm all about that. But that being said, it's just, the fight doesn't make sense for my career right now. It doesn't. And it's like, I'll fight Pantoja. I'll fight Moreno. I'll fight Amir Albazi. You know what I'm saying? I'll fight any one of these guys. I'm doing whatever I can to get to the belt, but I'm not going to go take 10 steps back to go get there. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't make sense for me right now in this point in time.
If they call you up and say like, it's just, we're going to go with Amir versus, we want Amir versus, are you saying yes to that?
Me versus Amir?
Yeah. If they're like, we're going to run it back with, like, how would you react?
I mean, I feel like there's plenty of different ways I can react. But at the end of the day, it's like, I'm going to beat up all these guys. Beating up every single one of these dudes is on my to-do list. You know what I'm saying? So whatever order it is, no matter what happens, I'm going to be the champion of this division. And it's like, if I got to go smack up Amir Albazi first, and then I'll go get beat up Moreno or Pantoja, if they don't do a crazy Moreno rematch or something after that, then it's like, that's what I got to do, man. That's the job, and that's what it is. But that being said, I felt like I've already done enough to earn that title shot, and I've already done enough of what exactly they asked me to do, which is make flyweight, make statements, and finish people. And I've done that this whole entire time, all over top 5 opponents, top 10 opponents.
Well, I hope you get that. I hope that you find some answers. You get some answers and get some clarity on this. You think you fight again this year?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, okay. I think I'll fight again this year.
And you got paid for this past weekend, right?
Yeah, I got paid, and then I made a good paycheck for my the Mateus Nikolai fight. So it's like, if I don't fight for this year and it is for a belt next, I'll wait. I made enough money this year, and I'm really like frugal in a sense, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it doesn't take much for me and my dog to get by.
Okay, that's it. It's just you and your dog right now.
Yeah, it's just me and my dog.
All right. What's the dog's name?
So I was thinking that too. I was like, I'm watching Pantoja in this Pantoja moment. And it's like, what a beautiful moment with his like wife, kids, and family and all that stuff. And I'm like, damn, it's just gonna be me and my puppy up there.
It's all good. He did have a beautiful moment. He's got a great story as well. But everyone has their own story, and I agree with you. It would be a tremendous fight. So hopefully, for your sake, you get it. Good luck to you. Congrats on making weight and doing what you had to do last week, getting paid. And thanks for coming on once again. Appreciate it as always.
Hey, I appreciate you. Have a good day.
You too. There he is, Brandon Royval. Now I'm in my head.